my beautiful witches and other magical beings on the internet. Today in this witchy vlog I'm going to take you along through my day in the life of a witch and show you how I prepare for Samhain. Now, as always, we have a couple of witchy quests for today, so let's see what those are. Jump into very relaxing and beautiful B-roll content. I also want to just share some facts about Samhain with you so you know what the holiday is all about. Samhain is the third and last harvest festival on the pagan wheel of year, and with it the harvest season and the pagan year also ends, at least for all the Celtic pagans. It's sometimes also titled the Witches' New Year, and the reason for that is that historic finds do suggest that the Celts actually celebrated Samhain as the new year. In Celtic beliefs, the new day or the new things always start with the darkness, so actually always with nightfall, or now with the beginning of winter. A lot of people will celebrate Samhain on the 31st of October, which coincides with Halloween. If you're a Celtic pagan and you want to celebrate closer to the finds of the calendar of Colony, you will celebrate it on the 11th new moon after the winter solstice, which this year, 2020, will be the 16th of October, so the day where I'm actually uploading this video. Happy Samhain! Personally, I celebrate on the 16th of October, and it might or might not be influenced by the fact that then I can celebrate Halloween on the 31st and have the 31st free for all kinds of shenanigans and eating too many sweets. Clever like that. It is also a day to honor our ancestors, and it doesn't only mean ancestors in blood, so family members that have passed away and stuff like that. It also means ancestors of the land, so the people that lived and walked where you live now before. Ancestors of spirit, so people that followed the same path as you. And today we will do a little something to remember my ancestors of blood and land. About the rest I'll tell you more in my actual Samhain vlog that I will be uploading on the 31st of October. If you don't want to miss that, subscribe! Now obviously, as a convinced cottage witch, I have to decorate for the holiday and I want to make everything look festive and pretty. Since I'm also a green witch and try to live quite sustainably, I don't really like to buy much plastic crap. I rather take the beautiful, colorful offerings that Mother Nature is giving us this time of the year and turn them into something. So I hope that provides maybe also a little bit of inspiration for you. Let's get this day started. Hello! Well, now we are in a place that I have very fond and fuzzy memories of, and in case you're wondering, but why? I'll tell you. This is the old stable for the pigs, and I remember always coming here with my grandma when I was a tiny little child. Could barely walk, you know, and would always feed the piglets here, and I just loved the little piggies. One was called Susie. I can't remember the name of the other one. Doesn't matter. Point of the story is, if you have been following me for a longer time, you know that at the beginning of this year we moved into my grandparents' old farmhouse, and that basically has been abandoned, at least the farm part of it, for many years. We have so many old stables here that are just filled with generations of things. Like everyone that has ever lived here in hundreds of years, this is in my family, has just put their stuff in there and it has been forgotten. And with Samhain being a day to actually like honor or remember our ancestors, I thought it would be really fun to walk through the stables and see if I can find something that I can repurpose, that I can give like new life. So I'm gonna take you along. We're probably gonna encounter a couple of spiders. I will brace myself with heavy duty gloves and something to swat any kind of huge spiders away, and then we can go. Okay, fun, let's do it. So I did find so many cool things there, and I don't know why I didn't do that earlier, because, well, I always forget about the spiders. It's because of the spiders. I definitely want to share my bounty with you. So I found this really old container to make butter. Well, I'm not going to make my own butter, but I thought I can take that as a like an umbrella holder, or put like nice dried big flowers in there or something like that. So that definitely will be restored. Then I found this little like miniature furniture decoration that my mom made. It actually had a lot of pictures of our family when I was like a little child and of my grandparents. So I think that's really nice. And if it's not super moldy, I will see if I can restore that to hang it upstairs, because it's just really cute. And then I found this huge pot from back in the days, basically for when they still had to make all their own stuff. Supermarkets were just not that convenient. And speaking of the kitchen, I also found 2 cast iron pans. I don't know from when they are, they look really old. And I have to see how they were made back in the days, if there's not something, you know, toxic in it. But I also definitely want to see if I can like screw up those and clean them and maybe use them. So yeah. That was my treasure hunt of the abandoned stables, and I think I really succeeded with my quest to find old things from my ancestors, to give them new life and to value them in my personal modern life. So we're just venturing out now and the weather got quite nice. So the plan right now is to find and gather some materials to make a besom, or also called a witch's broom. Samhain is also called the Witch's New Year. It's all about new beginnings, and new beginnings also give us a chance to leave negative things and negative energy behind. So what I wanted to do before the colder period starts and we spend a lot of time inside, I wanted to make a besom. Now, besoms are very much a symbol of witches, as is the pointy black hat and stuff like that. They do have a magical as well as a mundane function. Obviously, you can clean with them. That's why they were invented. But you can also cleanse away or purify negative energy. So traditionally, witches' brooms or besoms were made or are still made out of birch for the bushy part. The handle will usually be hazel. And it does have a very simple explanation. Birch is very sturdy, so the brooms would hold very long. Hazel is used because the chance of getting a splinter is very little with that wood. But additionally to that, of course, both woods also come with magical correspondences and magical properties. Birch is the tree of rebirth, rejuvenation, fertility, healing, as well as protection and creativity. So it's a very lovely wood to get old, stale energy out and get new creative energy in. That's the reason why today we are here to collect the birch wood. First of all, if you venture out and want to collect wood, never cut the wood if you don't have the permission from the owner of the forest. You can collect stuff from the floor, and usually also the amount that you can collect is limited. And if you don't have any chance to collect it out in the wild, you can also get it in a lot of like home decor stores and stuff like that. So what we need to collect is twigs of about 50 to 60 centimeters long, and they can be of different thickness. It's always good to go for a good mixture of like stronger, sturdier ones and finer ones. That really makes it a quality besom. So we just came back home from our lovely walk and I got everything that I need for the besom, and I will bind it a little bit later on and show you how you can do that and tell you also a little bit more about the ties it has to Samhain and in general some fun facts about witches' brooms that you might not know yet. And yeah, now it's quite cold and I wanna warm all of us up a little bit, and it's also time for dinner. So I am going to make something very yummy with the millions of pumpkins that I have, because my neighbor doesn't stop bringing them over and I have the hardest time saying no because I don't want to be rude. But also I have been eating pumpkin for the past 3 weeks.
Pumpkin jam, pumpkin soup, pumpkin bread, pumpkin pancakes, pumpkin pie, pumpkin pasties, baked pumpkin, pickled pumpkin.
Pumpkin for everything. If you ever try saying pumpkin multiple times in a row, it's actually surprisingly hard. Try it. Try now. Is it only me, or do English speakers also have that? Anyways, what we're going to cook now is super yummy and super easy to make. It's a pumpkin ginger and coconut soup, which is fantastic because it's super healthy and super delicious. And with that, we're going to make a pumpkin bread. And no, not a American style sweet pumpkin bread, but actual bread with pumpkin in it. That is so good. I'm going to do the festive fancy variation where I make like little pumpkin shaped dinner rolls out of it, but it's totally fine to bake it in one normal bread and will take you about 5 minutes. And it's really cold out here, but it's also super nice to do a little bit of crafty stuff. And I'm now making my besom. These besoms are actually better than you would expect. They're actually better than any plastic broom. And in fact, fun fact, Munich, which some of you might know from the Oktoberfest, Munich is the capital of Bavaria. The streets of Munich until 2014 were actually swept with these like old-fashioned birch brooms. And actually the people that worked for the city would every morning make their own broom, like bind their own broom. And when in 2014 the city of Munich decided to replace it with plastic brooms, a lot of the workers were actually super upset about that because they said it's such a nice tradition to keep up. But it was a cost issue apparently. Plastic, it's cheaper, but of course not as good for the environment. So besoms are also used in Wiccan hand fasting traditions, or also in general in weddings, like people jump over them, and the broom then symbolizes the obstacles that a couple has to overcome in order to find their marriage bliss. And here in the rural areas of Bavaria, it is still a thing that people do. Usually you collect the branches in January, so in winter it's the best time to collect them. A lot of people will bind their new besom then. And they hold about, depending on how much you use them, they can hold between 3 months and a year, and then you'll need a new one. And it used to be custom to burn them at the end of the winter to symbolize basically that now they have taken in all the dust and the negativity and the old energy, and it's time for a new one. So you would burn the old besom and make a new one. And it's not only a modern new pagan thing that the besom is said to put away negative energy. That's actually very much in the folklore and in the folk belief here, that whenever you had an ailment, for example, tooth pain, you would speak it to the besom, is the term. So you would like tell your besom, and then you would take it to a sacred space, and without speaking a word, you would throw the besom there and basically leave it on the besom. Another thing that I read up on was that people would throw it in front of church doors, and the next person that stepped over the broom then would take over the pain. So not very Christian of you.